the first step, obviously, to qualify for any of these programs, you have to need a nursing home level of care. Assuming you meet that test, the next steps are you have these income and asset-based tests. And my understanding is, like many states, in Idaho, there's an income limit of like $2,349 a month. And then you've got another $20 exclusion, I believe, for unearned income. So it gets you to, I guess, $2,369 a month. But, it's not like if you're over that limit, you just don't qualify. So, if somebody has $2,500 or $3,000 a month in income, what can they do, and how would you handle that situation in Idaho to try to still get them coverage under the programs?
And that's what as a general rule, I tell clients, income's not an issue. We can always get around it. There's a way to work with it. And that's, and Idaho is an income cap state. So it has that 2369. And if you're a penny over, you're not eligible technically, but there's really mainly two options that we normally use. If they're married, if they have a spouse, then we can use what under Idaho rules, what we call community property method of counting income. And that's where we would take the total income of the two spouses, combine it together and divide it in half. And if that half is under that limit, then they're eligible for Medicaid. But again, that's only if it's a married couple that we have that option. And sometimes even with the married couple, that still doesn't work because that half is still over the limit too. So in that situation, or for a single person who's over that limit, then we have what's called a Miller Trust, or it's really a qualified income trust, but most people know it as a Miller Trust. And that's really just a vehicle. It's kind of a pass-through trust that just essentially makes the person eligible for income, eligible for Medicaid under the income limit, because it just takes a portion of their income, whatever is over that limit, and we place it into the trust, and then it sort of passes through. But that's really the point, is that and I will tell you, it's always confusing to clients when we start talking about the Miller Trust, because it doesn't really make sense and kind of trying to work through it. But it is a vehicle that allows us to do that. And for a long time, Idaho was really kind of hard in a way to make the Miller Trust work, because they wanted the money to be direct deposited into the account for the trust and so forth. But they loosened those up several years ago, and it's made it a little easier so that we can essentially just transfer money each month from another account to that trust. And as long as it goes into the trust in that month that you're seeking eligibility, and each month thereafter, then they're eligible on the income side. So it's kind of made it a little bit easier. Still not always easy to explain to a client how that works, but that's essentially, it's just moving that money over and then using it, and that makes them income eligible.